We would like to respectfully acknowledge the Turrbal and Jagera peoples of the traditional owners of the land on which this video is being recorded, and pay our respects to elders both past, present, and emerging. Hi everyone, how are you? My name is Simon Doble and I'm the founder and global CEO of the Australian-based charity SolarBuddy. Wonderful to be here with you today. We're going to share some stories with you. We're going to talk to you about our annual review, and we've decided to do that in a very innovative way via video. So less reading, more watching, hopefully some fun, hopefully some laughs. And I'm going to do that with my very, very good friend, colleague, and inspiration, SolarBuddy's General Manager, Billy Murphy.
Thanks, Simon. This is really exciting for us, doing an annual review in a very different, innovative way. Simon, this was your idea. Where did this come about?
Well, as you know, Billy, we like to think of ourselves as a very innovative charity, and I think you guys would all agree with that as well. So I've played a lot in my mind around what annual reviews look like. I've read a lot of annual reviews over the years, some amazing charities that do some wonderfully engaging reviews, but they're also very, very time heavy and resource heavy, and ultimately not very engaging. So we thought we'd take the opportunity to shake it up a little bit and do something a little bit more fun, hopefully a little bit more engaging and entertaining, and get to more people. So instead of the boards and the C-suites and other donors that we work with, everybody within the organization can hopefully watch a little video, learn a little bit more about what we do, and ultimately try and support us a little bit more as well. So that's the idea. Let's see how we go. So, as any good annual general review should be, we're going to fill this video up with lots of fun stories, lots of engaging stories, lots of thank yous to our amazing donors, supporters, and also team members here at SolarBuddy. Billy's going to share some amazing stories that she's experienced this year, growing and developing herself and the team here in Australia as General Manager. I know it's been a lot of fun for you, hasn't it?
Yes.
And we're also going to share some personal stories about what we've experienced over the last 12 months, running SolarBuddy and expanding into new markets. It's been a challenge, it hasn't been easy, post-COVID as we know, and what's going on in the world is a little bit of turmoil. But we've rolled up our sleeves, and we're very pleased to share some of those stories with you on this video. True to our philosophy here at SolarBuddy, it really does take a village. It takes a village to illuminate a child's future somewhere around the world, and it takes a village to run an organization like SolarBuddy for us to enable the illumination of children's futures around the world. So on behalf of SolarBuddy, I thank you all very, very much for your support, and welcome to our village and our community of illuminating children's futures. This year has been an amazing year. 2022, as I mentioned before, post-COVID, tough economic times, but we still managed to grow. We still managed to develop new programs and innovate new ideas and expand into new markets. It's resulted in over 20,000 lights being donated to children somewhere in the world, which has instantly lifted them out of the cycle of energy poverty, instantly provided them hope with the turn on of a light, which is truly magical, and instantly improve their health situation so they're not breathing in kerosene fumes any longer. That's 20,000 children's lives, and also their families and brothers and sisters and mums and dads whose lives have also been improved as well. We all know we couldn't have done this without your help. We all know that we can't do this as a unity, as a community, and as a family, and as a village. And once again, thank you very much for all the support you've shown and provided us for us to provide those 20,000 lives to children all across the world. Okay, so after 2 years of being in Brisbane, twiddling my thumbs, no, I'm joking. We worked as a team to strategize on how we were going to scale up our organization rather than shift out of startup. Those 2 years of COVID, we really took a deep breath and analyzed what we were doing and how we were doing it, but ultimately why we were doing it as well. And luckily enough, end of last year, November last year, I got the opportunity to go to the United States, where we're now a registered 501c3 charity in the United States, and scale up our operation internationally. So I'm delighted to tell you that we've now managed to develop some very strategic partnerships in the United States Hopefully by the end of 2023, we'll be in 26 states operationally in the United States, which is a phenomenal achievement for a fairly young, small, Brisbane-based charity. And then I also got the opportunity to go to Europe and hired our new CEO of EMEA, Jeremie Landweer, who's an amazingly passionate, experienced and determined young man, and is very thrilled to be working with SolarBuddy in Europe, in the Middle East and Africa. I'm very proud to have Jeremie on board. He brings an abundance of passion and determination and has already done some amazing things in Europe as well. That's led to us being registered as a charity in Holland and in Belgium already, and very, very soon we will be a registered charity in Germany, the United Kingdom, Switzerland and Denmark. Now some of you might be sat there going, oh my God, that's crazy. How can you do so much in such a short period of time and with the small budgets that you have? But we have amazing partners, we have amazing supporters, and we have amazing people that give their time pro bono for us to be able to do what we do. And that's very, very key to this part of this annual review. We couldn't have done all of these registrations without support from many, many solicitors and lawyers around the world that have given their time and expertise for free for us to be able to scale up and move into new markets and ultimately educate more people and more children about the issues of energy poverty and subsequently illuminate more children's lives around the world and lift them out of extreme energy poverty. As I mentioned in our introduction, we like to identify ourselves as an innovation charity here at SolarBuddy. I think you all know that. We wear innovation on our sleeve and we're very proud of it. So I'm going to have a little bit of show and tell with you now. As a big kid myself, I used to love show and tell going to school and talking about different things that I was making with Lego and whatnot. So there's definitely foundations of that as me as a little boy evolving into the innovations that we're developing for children here at SolarBuddy. So firstly, I'm going to talk to you about our new Junior Buddy light that's been under R&D for a couple of years now, and we launched this earlier this year. It's a better product, it lasts longer, it's stronger, it's more waterproof, it's more fun for you guys to make, and it performs better under certain environments, in the environments that they're going to be donated to. It's got a lovely little character on it, and it's a wonderful little light for children to use as a bedside light. It's a little torch to move around their villages in at night, but also obviously to read and position around their book so they can read in a better place. So with the stand, it has ability to move around and all that, which is really quite nice for the children. And obviously with the smiley face on it, it feels like a friend, which is ultimately why we're called SolarBuddy, because we provide friends through light. We've also completed the R&D and development and now launched our product called StudentBuddy. StudentBuddy is a room light, so this will light up the whole room 6 meters by 6 meters for 100+ hours of light between charges. And we predominantly give these to teenage girls. Why? Because it also charges 2 mobile phones simultaneously, so the family can charge their phones at home for the first time ever. And we do that because some of the big problems girls face in sub-Saharan Africa and elsewhere around the world is they have to get taken out of school to go to a village to charge the mobile phones by a diesel generator at a market stall. Now, to some of you that may sound like, okay, they get to go to a market and charge phones up. But those markets can be many, many kilometers away. And then they have to hang around in those markets whilst their phones are being charged. And that can be up to 3 or 4 or 5 hours whilst they're waiting for those small batteries to be charged on a series of hundreds of batteries by one diesel generator. And there's a huge amount of expense to that, but also a huge amount of risk to those girls' safety. So by us donating and delivering these systems to teenage girls all across the world, we're doing a huge thing, not just through energy poverty, but safety, security, and happiness and health as well. So we're really excited to launch this. It also has a torch, so the girls can move around the village at night using it as a torch. It's made from 100% recycled aluminium, and it comes in these amazing kits that took a lot of time to design, to be perfectly honest with you. A lot of blood, sweat and tears went into that design to make it as engaging and as fun for all of you to learn about the issues that we're challenged to overcoming and have fun in building and donating amazing solar systems that are going to change millions of lives around the world. We also have a few other innovations coming through. We have one called CLICK, which is an acronym for Kerosene Lantern In Situ Conversion Kit. And the idea is we're going to provide these to women all across sub-Saharan Africa, southern India and Southeast Asia, southern Asia and Southeast Asia, as an entrepreneurship program. And we hope to provide a few thousand of these to each woman, and she can set up her own solar entrepreneur store and actually convert kerosene lanterns into a solar lantern, which again is a world first. It's coming out of SolarBuddy. The idea of that is when we donate a solar light to a family, very often they still use their kerosene lantern. We've studied this, we've studied the data of this, we've studied the consumption of kerosene in sub-Saharan Africa, and the realization is that as much as we're helping the children, sometimes the families are still using the kerosene lanterns. So what do? We convert those lanterns into solar lanterns, and that's where CLICK comes in. So that's been a lot of fun to develop that product as well, and you'll hear more about that in the coming months. And leading up to Christmas, you're going to hear a lot about a suite of products that we call a birthing suite kit. Again, across sub-Saharan Africa and elsewhere around the world where communities are experiencing extreme energy poverty, we've got babies being born by torchlight from phones. We've got babies being born by kerosene lanterns, and it's completely unacceptable in 2022. So leading up to Christmas and across the Christmas period, you'll see our SolarBuddy Birthing Suite campaign for you to hopefully donate money for us so we can send birthing suite kits that include solar powered head torches for the midwives to actually deliver children using a light for the very first time, and not a feeble little torch from an analog phone or a kerosene lantern, or even a fire burning in the corner of these very primitive birthing suites. So we really thank you for your support on that. And I could go on and on and on with show and tell, and there's lots of other things that we're developing and working hard on, including refrigeration systems and cook stoves and lots more. And again, we can't do any of this without the support of our partners. We can't solve any of these problems without the support of our village and community. And we thank you very much for all the things you do for us to enable us to help the people that need our help so very much. So finally, there's one more market that we are moving into. Over the years, if I had $5 for every single person that asked me if they could buy one of these lights and take them home, probably pay our overheads for a whole year. So I'm very proud to say that we've managed to change our constitution, which now allows us to sell our solar lights and solar solutions direct to the public here in Australia and elsewhere around the world for them to take home and use on camping trips and different activities. So hopefully next year you'll be able to walk into some of the major retailers in this amazing country and purchase 1, 2, 3 or 5 or even more of our little junior buddies or student buddy lights and use them as emergency lighting around the house, camp lighting when you go camping, or just generally for hiking and whatnot. So yeah, have a look for us in the stores as and when we launch, and I'm excited to be able to provide them with you. And obviously, the profits that we generate from those sales go directly to illuminating children's futures elsewhere around the world. So look out for them and have fun using them. So that's enough of me for 5 minutes. I now have the great pleasure of handing over to the wonderful, more beautiful than me, Billy Murphy.
Thank you, Simon, and for your kind compliments. So I'm going to talk a little bit now about the Australian team. And actually, this is my 5th year working at SolarBuddy. 5 years ago, I moved to Australia and was lucky enough to meet Simon in a very serendipitous way. I actually booked an Airbnb for the first few weeks when I arrived in Australia, and Simon happened to be my Airbnb host. We actually got talking and I learned a little bit more about who he was and what he does. And he explained he just started this charity called SolarBuddy. And straight away I was hooked. I was so engaged with his mission and what he wanted to try and achieve. especially around educating students here about a global issue that I myself knew nothing about. So ever since that meeting 5 years ago, together with Simon and the team that we have built, we have been working passionately and endlessly to try and end the issue of energy poverty for children all over the world. For me, I've been in my general manager role now for the last 2 years. And to be honest, it's been tough to move into a role like this just as COVID started. Definitely came with its challenges. But on a personal level, I have learned so much from being in this role, so much about managing people, managing an organization. And it's been a real journey, but a journey that I'm so proud of and a journey that I'm still continually going on. We had a number of new team members join us this year at SolarBuddy, which has enabled us to tell our story further, far and wide. It's enabled us to develop new programs like our Illuminating Communities program, which we'll talk about more in this video. This year, we have grown our team here in Australia. We've had a huge focus on our product design. As you saw from what Simon shared with you, we're constantly developing new solutions. So Izzy has come on board to support that, to work closely with Simon and bring some of those amazing ideas to life. We've also had Hannah and Kenny join our marketing team. A huge part of what we do is telling our story and engaging other people to join us on our mission to illuminating futures. So those two have been amazing at driving that. We also have Ken, who's joined our corporate partnerships team. And Ken's role is to engage with more corporates and work with all of you to support the work that we do and build amazing partnerships that support our work, but also support your important values. We also have Holly, who's joined our education team, who has been amazing at engaging with as many schools as possible to support the work that we do and get Aussie kids learning about the issue of energy poverty and empowering them to be part of the solution. And lastly, we have Tegan. Tegan joined us as part of her university internship. She was here for 6 months, supporting the work that our marketing team do, learning from the likes of Hannah and Kenny, and now actually, after showing her amazing work, we have now employed her on a part-time basis to support our marketing team, in particular working on our social media. This year, we have had amazing opportunities to launch our Illuminating Communities program. Hopefully most of you know about this program, but if you don't, this has been developed to really support Australian communities experiencing energy poverty. Around 500,000 people in Australia experience energy poverty. That's due to the cost of electricity or just how remote some people here live in Australia. So we have run a number of programs across these communities, educating the students and giving them the opportunity to build our lights, to keep one of those lights, but to also donate one to a child in our neighbouring countries. We have also illuminated 2 community spaces. One of those spaces was on Thursday Island, our first ever community installation, which includes larger solar floodlighting. So communities can come together, they can play, they can do anything they want in a really safe community environment. And we have just installed our second solution in this community space on Palm Island. So for us, as much as it's important to support communities overseas, this year has been really focused on also doing what we can within Australia, supporting those communities here living in energy poverty. This year, we also rebranded SolarBuddy. After 5 years, we decided it was time to really refresh our logo and our feel of the work that we do. Our logo represents 2 people, one person lifting the other person up, which is exactly what we are all about here at SolarBuddy. We are all supporting those children and lifting them out of the issue of energy poverty. We also designed a new website, an amazing website that has so much education and information and beautiful stories showcasing the work that we do. And we were able to do that in-house, which was something that was really important to us, So we have the ability to chop and change and add more things to support you guys in educating others about energy poverty, but also showcasing the amazing partnerships that we have and the programs that we do. As you saw earlier, Simon showcased our new StudentBuddy product, which is something I am extremely excited about. Being a female myself, I couldn't believe some of the issues that girls are experiencing due to not being able to charge their mobile phones and tablets in developing countries. This program has allowed teams to come together. For those of you who have taken part in our Junior Buddy program, I love that it's very one-on-one. You get to build one light for one individual child. But what is also really amazing about StudentBuddy is that it's an opportunity for you guys to come together in teams, to collaborate to build this product. We've run this program to a number of corporates now and also school groups, and I've seen firsthand the collaboration that it takes, sometimes the frustration to work together to put these lights together, but ultimately it's the same thing, it's the same purpose. You're coming together to build a solution to support those children living in energy poverty. And I definitely encourage you, if you haven't taken part in this program yet, to reach out to us and do this in your teams, because it's an amazing product, but it's also an amazing program for you all to take part in. And for the last few months, we have had a huge focus on actually reviewing all of our educational programs, both in the school space, but also the corporate space. So we're constantly trying to come up with new ways to engage your people and engage students here in Australia. For those educators out there, there is a new curriculum that has been launched. So we are redeveloping all of our resources so they are aligned to that new curriculum. But also in our event space, we're looking at making our programs even more hands-on, even more experiential, to really encourage people to really feel and understand what it's like to live in energy poverty. We'll be bringing VR opportunities to your organisations and to events next year, which are things that we are really excited for you guys to take part in. So overall, 2022 has been huge for the Australian team here, and I'm so proud of both our SolarBuddy staff, but also our amazing partnerships. I know we say this again and again, but we really couldn't do what we do without you guys to enable us to support those children living in energy poverty. So I'm going to hand back over to Simon now, who's going to share a little bit more about our impact this year and some of the stories that really mean a lot to us of things that we have experienced.
Thanks, Billy. Thanks for sharing how much of a good job you did. Well done. No, seriously, well done, Billy. Thanks for that. You are amazing. I'm very, very lucky to have you. We're very, very lucky to have Billy. Anyway, now it's time to talk about impact and generally impact to date and hopefully impact moving forward, what we're going to achieve. As an organisation, our job is to illuminate futures. Our job is to bring light to children that are currently living in extreme energy poverty. And I'm very, very, very proud to say that we've very, very close reached the 1 million mark of lives. So in six and a half years, we very proudly provided light and illuminated the futures of almost 1 million children somewhere around the world. So I'm going to give myself a little round of applause for that, and everyone else here watching me record this, and I hope you can pat yourself on the back for helping us get to that amazing milestone. But next year, hopefully with everything we do globally and what the amazing team here in Australia continues to do, we can try and edge towards 2 million lives next year as we scale up our organisation. What does that mean from a CO2 point of view? So from a climate active, approved and accredited organisation, which means we're carbon neutral, we've reduced over 217,000 tonnes of carbon from the air just by providing our solar lights and solar systems to families and children all across the world. I don't know what we compare to from an organisational perspective too, but I'm sure there's some pretty big organisations out there that haven't reached those sorts of milestones. So as a small Brisbane-based, Brisbane headquartered charity that's punching much above our weight, to reduce 217,000 tonnes of carbon from the environment is a huge, huge, huge outcome. And again, thank you very much for your support. What does it mean from a study hour point of view? Well, we've almost got to 1 billion study hours created. That means we have children studying longer in a safer, more toxic-free environment for up to 1 billion hours longer than what they were previously studying under a kerosene lantern or another form of toxic fuel. So that means we've got children, almost 1 million children, studying up to 1 billion hours to improve their education, to lift their whole family out of the poverty cycle, whilst reducing carbon from the environment. And I tell you what, I'm pretty damn proud of that. So again, thank you very much for all your support. And now we're going to have a little bit of a chat with Billy again and I about some of the lovely things that have happened to us as an organisation over the last 12 months. So now we'd like to just do a little bit of a summary, a little bit of a review, and tell a few little stories about the last year personally for the two of us. We hope you enjoy this. We thought long and hard about what we're going to talk about. So over to you, Billy Murphy. You can go first.
Well, this is a tough question, and I know that you'll probably have quite a few things you want to recap on. So I might give you my one favourite thing of the year. And it was definitely launching our Illuminating Communities program, and we had the opportunity to go up to Thursday Island and I guess learn a lot more about how energy poverty affects people here in Australia, and it was pretty shocking. I couldn't believe that there was no access to power or limited access in Australia on Thursday Island, a beautiful place. So it was really an amazing experience to learn a lot more about that. And I think going to the school and seeing the kids assemble the lights there, I think it was the first time that anyone outside of the island had ever visited the school. So they were just so excited that we had taken the time to go and see them. And some of the comments about the engagement of those kids from the teachers just really warmed my heart, hearing that they'd never seen their kids so engaged before in any activity. When seeing those kids assemble the lights, like, gives me goosebumps every time I talk about. So I think for me, being back in the field was amazing. We haven't been able to travel for the last few years, but going and being with those students, seeing their faces when they get to put this light together, the curiosity, the questioning, and just some of that feedback from the teachers was definitely a reminder of why we do what we do and what I love most about the work that we do.
So it's the small things, isn't it, sometimes? And that's not small, that's huge.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's the little conversations that you have with a 10-year-old, 12-year-old, 13-year-old kid that has never understood what this is about, and then they get the opportunity to make something. When their lights, when their eyes light up with fascination and pride of what they've made, that's the little things that really help us do what we do, you know. I think a big shout out needs to go to Ruth Lee, from the Origin Foundation, who made that trip happen. We couldn't have done the work that we've done on Thursday Island, including illuminating the whole sports field at the school, which was quite special, wasn't it? Absolutely. So thanks, Ruth, if you're watching this, and everyone else. Ruth Lee is the General Manager of the Origin Foundation, and the Origin organisation supported the work that we're doing on Thursday Island, so, along with others.
Yeah, so I think that was probably my top one. What about you, Simon? I know you spent a lot of the year in the US. Was there something in there that made it particularly special?
Yeah, there was actually. There was a few. One getting on a plane again and actually travelling, because I've had wanderlust since I was a little boy, but being able to do that was quite nice. But I met some amazing people. I went to an event I was very lucky to be invited to an event in Los Angeles where some very impressive people were there, and Malala Yousaf was one of them. So we had a lovely conversation about SolarBuddy and educating girls, and the need for the work that we do, which was very validating and empowering and inspiring as well. And then we've made some amazing relationships and partnerships that's going to grow us as an organisation, but ultimately increase the impact that we have on children's lives around the world. It was a bit of double-edged sword, I guess, because pretty much everybody I spoke to in the United States had no idea what extreme energy poverty was, which was quite deflating, but also there's that momentum for us to grow with them and help, they can help us do what we need to do. So, that was amazing. Meeting inspiring people is always a wonderful, wonderful thing to do, and helps us do what we need to do. I think from a organizational point of view, we've got patent applications in now for the work in the designs that we've created, which is great for a charity to be able to achieve. Not many charities would have patents, I think. So I'm quite proud of that. Being an innovator and designer, that's a good security element for us to really be able to move forward and ultimately illuminate more children's lives. And then obviously going to Europe and expanding across there and recruiting a team there and having some fun and eating some European food for the first time in a while. It's quite nice. But yeah, just growing what we do and ultimately being in rooms with people that are really passionate to learn about what we do, why we do it, and how they can be involved is my job, and I'm very, very lucky to be able to do that, and very lucky that I could do that with Billy being able to step up and step in and lead far better than I can. An amazing team here back in Australia. So around all the travels and all the growth, I think my proudest moment in the last 12 months with SolarBuddy has been watching Billy grow as a person and as a leader and do the amazing job that you do that's enabled me to do what I do. And that's teamwork, that's community, and that's village, and that's what we stand for.
Amazing. And I think on a personal level, those of you may or may not know the real reason, and one of the first reasons Simon started SolarBuddy was actually from a point of pain and darkness in his own life, where unfortunately you didn't have the ability to see your own children. And when I met Simon, he explained that because he can't see his own children, he wanted to bring light to other children by doing the work that we do. And I think there's been an amazing turn in that personal situation for you, Simon, this year that I would love you to share if you feel comfortable in doing so.
I'm well enough just thinking about it, to be honest with you. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, the foundations of the need to illuminate children's futures definitely came from a position of darkness for me and pain, and the desire to fulfill that parental need of being able to know that your children are safely in bed, and you've read them a bedside light and turned off that. You've read them a book, and you've turned off that bedside light, and they're safe and protected. And I think as a parent, that's one of the most valuable, most amazing experiences you have is on a day-to-day basis, watching your children grow. And that's what SolarBuddy stands for. That's what we try and do. We don't just illuminate the children's futures, we illuminate the families' time together so they feel safer and more connected. And it all came from me not being able to have that opportunity with my children, which was very, very painful. But I'm pleased to say that my youngest son and my daughter are back in my life now, and every day is magical. And I had lunch with my daughter on Monday for 3 hours, and I was pinching myself every 5 seconds. So dreams do come true, and hopefully soon my eldest son is back in my life as well. But what it's done is given me more inspiration to keep doing what we're doing and pass on that magical dust of what illuminating the future really means to so many more children around the world. So thanks everyone. I hope you've enjoyed this. Billy, how do you think it went?
I think for a first time, we did pretty well.
We're amateurs, but it's we try and do everything with a smile on our face. This is a brand new concept. I challenge anyone to show me an annual report presented by video, but this is the video age, Zoom age, certainly not the Skype age that my sister called Zoom the other night, which I found quite funny. But yeah, presenting as a video, we feel it demonstrates our innovative mindset and growth mindset on how we can tell our story to more people and hopefully engage people in a way that they understand more about what we do. I hope you've enjoyed it. We hope you've enjoyed it. Maybe next year we do a bit of stand-up comedy, or Billy might even learn how to play the guitar or something, but we'll see. But anyway, thank you all so much for your support. Sorry if it's been a little bit boring, hopefully not, and you're watching right to the end. We cannot do what we do without you. We cannot do what we do with the passion and determination and persistence that we have without your support to keep the lights on, literally, and to keep the lights being donated. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the support that all of you give us. And please keep a lookout for the Birthing Suite campaign that's coming up very, very soon. And try and dig deep in your pockets. I know everyone asks you for money. I know everyone asks you for donations. But if we can provide so many birthing suites across sub-Saharan Africa, predominantly Zimbabwe and Zambia, then we know that there's children going to be born in an environment just like children should be born in an environment like they here in Australia. So again, thank you so much for everything you do. And we look forward to another one next year. Maybe, like I said, I'll do some juggling or something. We'll see. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much, everyone.